All right, I'm recording now. So I guess we'll be learning about tigers and crocodiles today? It's about animal fights? Okay, no more guessing. I know you got something cool for us again. Well, at least give me a hint. So you're telling me crocodiles have a weak point? And tigers know about it? Wow, that's new. Have you ever heard of Genghis the tiger? Most likely not, but in the tiger lore, this predator got the title legendary. Not because he's some kind of a mythical creature. No, Genghis simply scavenged everything he wanted from the crocodiles. He was snarling and hissing, rushing into the water, smashing on the water with his forepaws, and could snatch almost any prey from the mouth of a reptile. Imagine grabbing something out of a crocodile's mouth. That takes some strength. Genghis attacked even very large reptiles, much larger than himself, and still dominated. It's believed that this predator spent a lot of time on the shore of the lake and constantly killed local crocodiles. Well, or at least he stole their food. To be honest, when Steve first told me the stories about Genghis, I was, let's say, skeptical. Come on, the legendary tiger versus crocodiles? Turned out these predators actually compete with each other and sometimes fight to the death. It's quite simple. If an animal dies a natural death near the water, the crocodile drags the carcass into the water. But no tiger will refuse prey, even if it's not his. So the fight begins. It doesn't matter how big the croc is, it could even be 13 feet long. The tiger knows exactly where to strike. Because even such invulnerable monsters as crocodiles have a weak point. And the tigers found it. If you look at a crocodile with all its armor and spiked skin, it seems one can't possibly bite through it. Knives, arrows, sometimes even bullets can't pierce it. But if you want to do this, you must know where and how to bite. Tigers have quite powerful jaws, and when they attack, they always aim at the croc's neck. This is one of the most vulnerable spots on the crocodile. A strong enough bite can break the vertebrae, cause suffocation, or even damage the carotid artery. After an injury like this, it's simply impossible to recover. Besides, attacking the crocodile from above is the safest strategy. He just can't turn around to bite back. By the way, other felines also know about this hunting strategy. One bite may be enough to disable the central nervous system. And that's it. Some kind of caiman will be rendered completely helpless. And this is what happens when you attack a crocodile from the wrong angle. It would seem the advantage is on the side of the big cats, but even 3 lionesses at the same time can't handle one reptile. It has enough strength and speed to fight back, and in fact, in addition to powerful jaws, a crocodile can deal a heavy blow with its tail. Knowing all this, I don't even wonder why crocodiles don't like tigers much. Turns out the reason for the feud is not struggle for prey. I mean, that's not the only reason. The thing is, crocodiles sometimes crawl to the shore, especially in summer. At this time, they become dangerous for the tiger cubs, and the tigresses, of course, know about this, so they attack crocodiles. Moreover, it seems like they can do it unprovoked, even if the enemy doesn't try to harm the cubs. Well, better safe than sorry. For example, the tigress Machli, who was called the most photographed tiger on Earth, killed at least 3 crocodiles over her long 19-year life to save her offspring. Well, it's clear why crocodiles aren't big fans of tigers. I think they'll hardly become buddies with jaguars either. But here we have to clarify one non-obvious point. Crocodiles have very sensitive faces. Sounds weird, but these reptiles are covered in tiny bumps that are much more sensitive than our fingertips. Very small bumps, just a millimeter wide, are hidden in the armored scales, almost on every one of them. This gives us about 9,000 sensors in total, which help register these slightest fluctuations in water. What do the jaguars have to do with this? Well, jaguars are well aware of the croc's sensitivity. While in the water, they move so carefully they don't cause any waves or splashes. Not even a whole bunch of sensors can help crocs. Look, Steve, sensitivity in crocodiles is the last thing I'd think about. I don't know what else to expect from them. Next thing you'll tell me they can't see anything underwater either. What do you mean they can't? It's weird, but these predators really can't properly focus their eyes underwater, so no wonder they have thousands of sensors. Otherwise, the crocodiles would have died out long ago, because they wouldn't know which way the prey is. The vision of these terrible, invincible predators isn't that precise. Scientists studied the crocodile retina and came to the conclusion that the clarity of vision of these animals is about 6 to 7 times lower than that of the human eye. But as I understand it, you shouldn't recommend them to wear glasses just yet. First, try telling that to the crocodiles, and second, their vision is actually fine, but sort of in a horizontal way? Correct me if I'm wrong, crocodiles are good at seeing the overall image rather than something specific right in front of their faces, and this helps them in hunting. Deer and rabbits live like that too because they need to constantly check for predators in the open. Alright, big cats can bite through crocodile skin in the back of their necks. They can sneak up on them. Crocodiles have poor vision. Seems like they have a lot of weak points, don't you think? And this is not the end yet. The Australian Aborigines have found a way to hack crocodiles. No, seriously. You probably know that when a crocodile closes its mouth, it's simply impossible to unclench its jaws because of the very strong muscles. But the muscles responsible for opening the mouth are quite weak. The crocodile, depending on its species, needs a certain body temperature to feel good. To regulate this temperature, it crawls ashore where it warms up or cools down. At these moments, the predator is generally very relaxed, and if the animal is too cold, its reaction is sloppy too. During these moments of rest, the Australian Aborigines learn to attack. They quickly lunge at the crocs from above and tie their faces. But that's not even the last weakness of the crocodile. Tigers probably don't know this, but if you shove fingers into a crocodile's nostrils, the reptile will open its jaws. 10-year-old Juliana Osa used this trick when a predator sneaked up on her in shallow water and grabbed her by the leg. An incredibly brave girl who first hit the alligator on the forehead, then literally shoved 2 fingers in its nostrils. And she survived the attack. But all right, crocodiles also have aces up their sleeves. In the end, without them, crocodiles would never survive to this day. After all, long before all sorts of tigers, jaguars, and fearless girls, sharks already existed, and crocodiles learned to handle them. Yep, sharks also have a weak point. It's their teeth. They are a deadly weapon, but the teeth need some time to really become dangerous. Take, for example, the great white shark, the most famous and most frightening of all shark species. Unless the great white shark is at least 10 feet long, it's considered a teenager. A very formidable teenager with a huge mouth and weak jaws. And of course, weak teeth. So weak that a teenage shark can't even handle a seal. It simply can't bite off a chunk of its prey. So they have to eat small fry. While still growing, the shark definitely won't cope with a crocodile. But the American alligators will gladly eat everything they come across that won't fight back too much. That includes small sharks. Frankly, sharks have always been on the reptile menu, and vice versa. They've been attacking each other for, 200 million years? During this period, one can figure out all the weak points of the enemy. While the shark can't pinch the nostrils of the crocodile knows for sure it needs to pull the predator back and the shark will suffocate. Sounds like complete nonsense. The shark will suffocate if it swims backwards? What the hell? Still, that's true. The shape of the shark fins plus the structure of the gills makes the backward movement deadly. In this case, water enters the gills from the wrong side. The respiratory process is disrupted, and this leads to death. Once upon a time, fishermen even used this shark bug for fishing. You know what sounds even weirder? If the great white shark stops swimming, it'll die. It'll suffocate under the water if it stops. And this again due to the gills. Some sharks have learned to draw in water, well, like how we sip it through a straw. Not the closest analogy though, but the great white shark hasn't developed the necessary muscles in the process of evolution, so it just needs to constantly move with its mouth open so that water gets in and out through the gills. If it stops, it's dead. Can't believe I used to think being a shark was cool. And maybe you were thinking the same thing Steve was thinking when we discussed the script with him. If great white sharks can't breathe when they stop, how do they sleep? Turns out they sleep while swimming. They slow down and move in a trance-like state, and I must say it looks just as creepy as a white shark that does not sleep. No difference whatsoever. And now Actually, let me tell you another story instead. For more than 15 years, scientists have been studying great white sharks off the coast of California, putting electronic tags on them to monitor their movements. In 2009, the team tagged 17 white sharks and tracked them for several months. The sharks were feeling great, swimming around the southeast Farallon Island and preying on elephant seals there. But one day, researchers discovered that those 17 sharks had simply vanished. The tags made it clear that all the sharks left within 8 hours. They fled. Although they had excellent living conditions, a lot of food. What happened? Killer whales, that's what. Later, scientists noticed all great white sharks immediately swim away as soon as killer whales show up. They're this terrifying. But for many people, killer whales seem much friendlier than great white sharks. They look like black and white dolphins, only bigger. But they're actually incredibly smart, social predators that are so good at killing they can choose different strategies for different prey. And great white sharks are no exception. They have a weakness, which killer whales are well aware of. As soon as you turn the shark upside down, they end up paralyzed. This state is also called tonic immobility. In this state, you can do anything you want with the shark. Well, killer whales prefer to eat the liver. Yes, they're also very picky. A great white shark's liver can make up a quarter of its body weight and contains more fats and oils than whale blubber. Scientists even call the great white shark's liver one of the densest sources of calories you can find in the ocean. And killer whales know it. Moreover, they know exactly where the liver is. So instead of tearing apart their prey like any other predator would, killer whales can extract the right organ with amazing dexterity. All this without using hands or a scalpel. So far, researchers haven't been able to figure out exactly how killer whales do this, but to be honest, I'm not sure I want to know. Something tells me this ain't the prettiest scene. See you later.